Hi, I'm Rashonda Kay. This is Rashonda's Reading Room. We are reading Hagar's Daughter by Pauline Hopkins. We left on a cliffhanger at the end of chapter 8 last time, so let us dive into chapter 9. Chapter 9, 20 years later. Okay, so she jumps into a river and we don't know anything after that, and now it's 20 years later. Let's read on. It was a fine afternoon in early winter in the year 1882 in the city of Washington, the beautiful capital of our great republic. Pennsylvania Avenue was literally crammed with foot passengers and many merry sleighing parties intent on getting as much enjoyment as possible out of the day. Freezing weather had been followed by a generous fall of frozen down like flakes. Quick to take advantage of a short lived pleasure, vehicles of every description were flying along the avenue filled with the elite of the gay city. The stream of well dressed pedestrians moved swiftly over the snowy pavements, for the air was too cold for prolonged lingering. Watching with interest, in which envy mingled to some extent, the occupants of the handsome carriages gliding along so rapidly on polished runners. Every notable of the capital was there, from the president in his double runner to the humble clerk in a single seated modest rig. A sumptuous Russian sleigh drawn by two splendid black horses with a statuesque driver in ebony handling the ribbons attracted the attention of the crowd as it dashed down the avenue and paused near the Capitol steps. Two ladies were its occupants. The elder was handsome enough to demand more than a passing glance from the most indifferent, but her young companion was a picture as she nestled in luxurious ease among the costly robes wrapped in rich furs from which her delicate face shone out like a star upon the curious throng. That she was a stranger to the crowd could be easily told from the questioning glances which followed the turnout. Intriguing. As they passed the Treasury Department, two men, both past their first youth, though one was at least 20 years older than the other, came down the steps and paused a moment to follow with their eyes the Russian sleigh with the beautiful girl, before mingling with the living stream that flowed from between the great stone columns and spread itself through the magnificent streets of the national capital. Really, Benson, remarked the elder man as they resumed their walk, the most beautiful girl I have seen for many a day. You know everyone worth knowing. Who is she? At this moment, an elderly man of dark complexion and stylish street costume, but with a decidedly Western air, came down the Capitol steps, followed by a young man. Both were warmly greeted by the occupants of the sleigh. The dark man spoke a few words to the driver, then both men entered the carriage and it dashed off rapidly. That is Senator Bowen, his wife and daughter. He is the new millionaire senator from California. I am not acquainted with the ladies, but after their ball, I intend to become assiduous in my intentions. Ah, then they are the Bowens. How I wish I knew them. I predict a sensation over the young beauty. Who's the young man? Cuthbert Sumner, my private secretary. Deuced fine fellow, too. The conversation drifted away from the Bowens and they were apparently forgotten. How was it at the Clarks last night, Benson? As bad as you expected? Worse, if possible. It was devilish slow. Nothing stronger than bullion, not a chance to buck the tiger even for one moment, not a decent looking woman in the rooms. All the women fit for pleasant company gave that woman's house a wide berth. Dashed if I blame him. The only thing that gives the Clarks a standing is his position. I can't see how he puts up with her. If I had a sanctimonious woman like her for a wife, I'd cut and run for it. Dashed if I wouldn't. His companion laughed long and loud. No fun for you there, Abe Vinson. My boy, you'll never fit into the dignified position of a father of this country, I fear. Oh well, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, but think of not being able to give your friends a decent time because your wife has a fad on temperance and thinks it's a sin to smell a is it claret or claret? I don't know. I've always said claret. I think it's claret, Claret. I think it's a type of wine. Anyway, because your wife has a fad on temperance and thinks it a sin to smell a claret cup or a brandy and soda, a man with a wife of that sort ought to leave her at home where she could rule the roost to her heart's content. But she was at her house. The next sentence. The seat of government is no place for a missionary. So he's saying their home, wherever their home state is. Well, there's always a way to remedy such things when you know your hostess. Of course, General Benson hastened to reply. Our bullion was washed down with Russian tea a la Russe. We doctored it in the coat room. The two men indulged in a hearty laugh. Well, Benson, you'll do, remarked the elder when their mirth had somewhat subsided. For a dignified chief of a division, you're a rare bird. After a moment's silence, General Benson asked, Is Amelia come? Yes, got here last night. Good. It's a relief to be with a woman who can join a man in a social glass, have a cigar with him, or hold her own in winning or losing a game with no Sunday school nonsense about her. It's hard work keeping up to it, Major. One needs a friend to help one out. Wow, that is an interesting way to describe a woman. And a woman that you want to be with. Like, I mean, she sounds like fun. She can join a man in a social glass, have a cigar, hold her own in winning or losing a game. Like, that's cool. But the way we typically hear women described who are women men want to be with are pure and dainty and ethereal. Now, he might just want to be with her as a friend and not as a wife, maybe as a lover, but not as a wife. But still, I'm interested. We got to watch how this goes down. And I was remiss to not say anything about the senator from California. They said he was dark. How was it? Where was it? Yeah, Senator Bowen, the dark man, spoke a few words to the driver. The dark man. We have to pay attention to color cues. I mean, he's probably white, or at least looks white, but is dark. Anyway, so I was on the description of Amelia. Whoever Amelia is, I don't know. I mean, somebody who the guy who isn't General Benson knows. What is his name? I don't know. We're having a whole conversation with him, and I don't even know what his name is. But anyway, General Benson asked the guy about Amelia, and I would think it's not his wife or daughter, because I don't know that you would talk about somebody's wife or daughter like that. Maybe his wife, definitely not his daughter. I don't know. All right, I'm on a wild goose chase at this point. Let me stop. All right, is Amelia come? Back one more sentence. After a moment's silence, General Benson asked, Is Amelia come? Yes, got here last night. Good. It's a relief to be with a woman who can join a man in a social glass, have a cigar with him, or hold her own in winning or losing a game with no Sunday school nonsense about her. It's hard to keep up to it, Major. One needs a friend to help one out. When's the session end? Next week, thank heaven. Sick of politics too, old man? No, but it's been nothing but wind, words, words, words. And mutual abuse, broke in the major, laughing. Exactly, with nothing accomplished. Can't seem to throw much dust in the eyes of these old fossils. The truth is, Benson, the South has a hard, rough road before her to even things up with the North. We've got to go slow until some of the old fire eaters die out and a new generation comes in. It'll be slow enough, never you fear. At present, we are in a slough of despond. Heaven knows when we'll get out of it. My position in the Treasury brings the secret workings under my eye. I know. Slough. Slough. That's how I think it's pronounced. Slough. It's fun to say. Slough. Is it slough? Slow? I think it's slough. I'm sticking with slough. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments. Slough, retorted the major. Call it a bog at once, and to think of the money we have lost for the cause. And my exile abroad, that mix-up in the Lincoln assassination caused me. Do you know, Major, if it were known that I am my father's son, they'd hang me even now with little ceremony? Okay, who is Benson's father? And why would they hang you? And what was the mix-up with the Lincoln assassination? What in the world? Wow, okay. So this is Benson talking, and my exile abroad, that mix-up in the Lincoln assassination caused me. Do you know, Major, if it were known that I am my father's son, they'd hang me even now with little ceremony? What? What? Like, that sentence just got tossed in there with Lincoln's assassination. And I mean, is his dad John Wilkes Booth? Like, what? What? Oh my gosh. All right. Thank God they don't know it, my boy, and take courage. I'll get mine out of it by hook or by crook, replied Benson with a savage look. The country owes me a fortune, and I am bound to have it. What? 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 Oh, the two had reached the corner made historical by the time honored political headquarters, Willard's Hotel. They paused before separating. By the by, Major, I'll get you cards for the Bowens ball if you like. It would be a great chance for Amelia. If I like, why, man, I'll be your everlasting debtor. Very well, consider it done. 1,000 thanks. The friends parted. General Benson entered the hotel where he had apartments, and the Major wended his way to his home, a handsome house in a quiet side street. Whoa, okay. So 20 years later, we have no idea what happened to Hagar or her daughter. We do know the title of the book is Hagar's Daughter. We think this senator from California may be somebody Black, which may indicate his wife and daughter are also Black, but maybe not. Is his wife Hagar's daughter? And is the daughter Hagar's granddaughter? And what happened to Hagar? And what with the Lincoln assassination? And who is Benson's dad? Did you watch the show from the 70s or 80s soap that Benson was on as he was a butler, but then he got his own show and he ended up being lieutenant governor and a lot happened. But anyway, so just saying Benson made me think about that. But I had all these questions, and that's how the show, it was a sitcom about a soap opera, soap. That's how it either started or finished every time. Like, what is going on with so and so, and what is happening here, and what is happening there? And I just totally reenacted that at the end of this chapter because I've got questions. What questions do you have? Anyway, that is where we are stopping for today. Until next time.